Okay, elect of God family, welcome back to the next video. So let's talk about chosen ones. Why you kind of feel like you're stuck in this evil world, this evil, wicked world. And when I say an evil world, I believe, and I'm sure you guys agree, I believe that the world is intrinsically it's good. It's as just the whole world is actually good. I mean, look at nature, look at the things God created. Like, these things are good. But it's as if almost the world is kind of infested by evil in a way, and then like you probably kind of felt stuck in the world the whole time because you probably always had high expectations of the world. But I don't mean it as in like you kind of have just like high standards in the world. You kind of have high expectations and you expect the world to be good, you expect the world to be bright, fair, just, you expect the world to be all these things, but then you've always fallen short. Everywhere you've seen, it's always fallen short. It's always fallen short to what you think. It's always been more wicked than you thought. It's always been more evil than you thought. It's always been more unjust than you thought. It's always been more unfair than you thought. It's always been these things. And yes, the world is not perfect. Like you don't think these things are perfect. You just look at the world in these righteous. You have a righteous lens to you. You look at it as in like a love, in a way, but you probably feel like you've kind of been stuck in this world in a way. It's as if like you're here forcefully, and like you probably don't even want to. I'm going to be honest, like you're not suicidal, you don't want to kill yourself. You may be slightly depressed, but the world has always kind of been like kind of unfulfilling to you. It's always been this unfulfilling thing. It's always been like kind of like you probably thought in your head, like, what even is this world? Like, what is this? Like, why am I even here? The reason you think like this is because you're chosen, you're different, because most people fit in the world. They don't really question it. They don't question anything. They live in kind of like this, they don't live truly ignorant, but they just see things as what they are, kind of. And not like you see things for what they truly are. People just see it as in like, oh, this is the world, this is what it is, this is what I'm gonna do, so be it, basically. But for you, you're like, why is the world like this? Why do people do this? Why is it so wicked? Why is it so evil? Why do people get treated so unfairly? Why do people suffer so much? Why do the good suffer so much? Why do the evil prosper? Why do the wicked prosper? Why do these things? And you've been seeing all these things your whole life. And the Bible says, yes, no one is good but God. But there's people who are more righteous. There's people who are just more intrinsically good. There's people who are chosen. They have the Spirit of God in them. And then there's people who are wicked. And so yeah, you've probably been in living your whole life ever since you were young. You've had these high expectations. So you've had these high expectations. So you've expected life to be, people to love each other, people to be like high energy, and like people to just have fun and be kind to each other. But then you go around in the world and you're like, wait, you kind of like, wait, hold up, what's going on? Like people start caring about just things like money, materials. People look at people differently based off who they are, what race they are, what their status is, what their this is, what all these things, all these labels, all these, politics, everything, all these labels and everything. You've gone around the world and you're kind of like, man, what even is this world? Like you probably thought that like these people don't make any sense. Like, why do you guys even act like this? It's like, do you guys even see through it? Like, do you legitimately see through it? And like they don't. And like you've lived across your whole life and you kind of felt stuck in this world. Like, I don't want to say that you hate it, because if you're chosen one, you never hate. Even if the world pushes you so hard, you never fall into like this bitterness and hate. You kind of just see it as in like, dang, like this is kind of depressing in a way. Like, this world is kind of like, it's like why am I even here? I feel like I'm stuck in this. Like, I don't even belong over here. The reason that is because you don't belong in the world. You're a light. So the things that a light does is it helps people. It raises people's spirits. It changes people's whole perspective. You brighten people, and that's why you've probably been around a lot of people who are like, you had high expectations for these people, then they ended up narcissistic, jealous, envious, hateful, unjust. Anything wicked. They've just ended up like wicked. And like, you talk to all these people, and like you just want to talk to people as human beings, as people, and then like they'll start judging random things just as like material status, financial status, race, politics, whatever it is. There's like a billion different labels in the world. And you probably walked around like this as a child, and like whenever you were young, you were probably treated as if like people looked at you as something different because you were this light. You were this light. You were this loving light. You were this incredibly intelligent person, this incredibly intelligent, deep thinker. You saw things for what they really are. And you're outside of the world. You've never been in this world. It's never. Don't fool yourself. You've never been the kind of this world. Like you probably already know this if you're watching these videos. You've never truly been in this world. You always look. Not only did you always feel different, not only did you always feel set apart, but you were treated like you were set apart anyway. So the world's been proving it to you your whole life. So yeah, the reason you feel kind of like stuck in this way, it's as if, I know you guys can relate to this video, you feel like you're kind of like stuck in this world. You're like, what even is this world? The reason you feel like that, and the reason you've been feeling like that the whole time, is because you're not made to fit into it. So that's why you look at it as if like you're kind of stuck into it. You're like, what? Like, I need to get out. And like, maybe a lot of your attempts, a lot of the things you've aimed for and everything, you've fallen short many times. You've fallen short many times. You're like, man, I want to aim for that, but I keep falling short. The same thing keeps happening, and like all these things keep happening, and your whole life's been like kind of like a learning experience. God's had you in his hand the whole time, and no one truly knows what God is doing. Like, you may think you know what God is doing in your life, but you still don't know what God is doing in your whole life. It's almost impossible to truly know what God is doing in your life. But your whole life, that's how it's been. You've always been put in kind of like divinely guided by God situations in your life where like you've been around a lot of, narcissistic people, spirits of Jezebel, a lot of manipulative people, a lot of wicked people, a lot of hateful people, a lot of just bad people. And the reason you're put into these situations is because you're supposed to shine a light on who they are. You're supposed to kind of like extract that wickedness out of people. You're supposed to like extract this wickedness out of people. And that's how you've been around. You probably think you've fallen short in a way. Like it's like as if you're stuck. You're like, man, where are like the good, like the people of the God? Where are the people of the light? The reason you're never around these types of people that you desire is because you're the one that's the solution. You're the one that's a solution in people's lives, and as painful as it could be, like that's what you're made to do. Because you're a light in this world, you're gonna be around a lot of dark people, a lot of manipulative people, a lot of evil people, a lot of people who are lost, a lot of ignorant people. You're gonna be around all these people, and I'm saying this from the Spirit, because everyone here says I speak from the Spirit, and I truly do. That is 100% true. I speak from the soul. I speak from the Spirit, and for my whole life too, I've always been around people who are just kind of like, I want them to be a certain way. It's not like I want to change them, but I'm like, I just want you to see the light, like see the actual truth. And like you may have tried to done this, may have tried to like help other people and show them that, like, what you're doing is wicked. You don't have to think that way. Why can't you just think this way? You don't have to put so much emphasis on this. It doesn't even matter. But like they can't see through it. And so your attempts may have fallen short, but your attempts may have also worked on a lot of people too, because that's what a chosen one does. You're able to kind of extract these like demons out of them, like pull them out of them, like deliver these demons out of them, deliver this like wickedness out of them, or like these wicked things or these evil things or these kind of like depressing things that people are kind of stuck in. They're stuck in the whole world. They're stuck in these. They see the world as like they're not seeing it in the light. You're supposed to take people out of the dark into the light. That's what you do. So that's why I chose one. You seem to always be stuck in dark situations. Like you look at yourself, you're like, man, it's like I just like nice things. I like bright things. I like the light. I like things that are beautiful, things that are of God and everything. But it's like, why am I always stuck in these situations? And you may even be stuck in a whole state. Like a whole state or a whole place wherever you live that's full of dark people, and like you're like, man, like I can't get out of here. Like why can't I get out of here? Like your finances might just be vanish out of nowhere, and then you're like, man, I'm stuck here. Like I can't move. Just letting you know that you will be able, in time, you will be able to get that thing that you desire. But God puts you in these situations to where, because you need people, like you're the helper. You help people. And as much as you may even possibly hate to do this, you're like, man, I don't want nothing to do with like these people. You're like, I just want to get away from them, and that's fine. But a lot of times, because your light is so powerful, you have an extremely powerful light. Your tongue is anointed. You can speak things in people's lives. You can say a few things to people. You could change their whole perspective on life. That's what you do. You're kind of like this. You're kind of you kind of a healer in a way. You bring the light into people. You bring what's actually true. You bring the word of God to people. You bring you show them what the right way is, not to think this way, but to think that way. But because you're around a lot of dark things and a lot of dark people too, a lot of times like your efforts were in vain. Like, well, they were in vain. You think they were in vain, but out of pride, people know that you're alright. People know that what you're saying is true, and usually the truth hurts. As they say, the truth hurts, but it sets you free. And you tell people the truth. You tell people the truth about their life, the truth about what's actually going on in their life, and you tell them. It's like you're like, man, you're like, man, or this is kind of wrong. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be doing this because this is what's actually right. And like, you tell people, but out of pride, they're gonna hate it. They're gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna listen to you. Like, you're not right, or like they say all these things. And this is kind of why you've always felt like you were kind of stuck in this world. You're like, man, I just want the world to go up. Like, you just want it to go up spiritually. You want it to go up spiritually. But a lot of times, no one wants to listen. And that's how your life has probably been. You've been around dark people, a lot of narcissistic people, a lot of people who are kind of stuck in the world, who don't want to see things through, who don't want to like see what things actually are. And that's why you felt this way. But yeah, I hope this video helped you guys. This is something I wanted to really speak about, because this has been my experience too. I feel like as if I've been kind of like stuck. It's like God puts you in, like, until you know why, like it is, you've probably been angered. You're like, man, why am I? It's like I just can't get out. It's like I'm some kind of slave over here. Like, I'm just like stuck. I can never get out. Even if I try to get my finances up, boom, they're all gonna be gone. Because you have a bunch of these curses that are around your life and everything. You're the generational curse. You're supposed to break these curses. That's why everything's so hard on you. You're supposed to break these curses. There's a lot of curses that go around generational and like families and everything. And your eyes are wide open. God made your eyes wide open, so he didn't hide a single thing from you. So you see everything for what it is. That's why your life has always been kind of like painful. It's always been painful because like you see everything. It's like you may even wish that you were ignorant. You may even like pray to God. It's like, why didn't you just make me ignorant? Like, why didn't you just make me ignorant? I would at least been happy. And it's not that you're not happy. It's like the more you know, the more sorrow that comes out, right? And you're like, man, why didn't you just make me ignorant? Like, these people live happily, they live ignorantly, but like they're happy, they don't care. It's like, well, I wish I was just like that, but you'll never be like that. That's not who you are. You're the light. You're the one you're the one that has like these all-seeing eyes. You see everything for what it is. So that's why your life has always been kind of like, you may have fallen into depression, or you may have been really anxious, or you feel like you were like stuck in your life. You're like, and you might have been started questioning yourself too. It's like, am I just like, it's crazy, or am I like narcissistic? Do I just have unrealistic standards or something? It's like, none of these are true. You don't have unrealistic standards. You're not crazy. None of them are true. You just see things for what they really are. You see things in these righteous lens, the lens of God. You see things in his lens. That's why your life has been a certain way. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video though, make sure to comment anything below. Comment what you think below. Don't forget to like the video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, or you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. All right, God bless you guys.